Hi again. Okay, this is the last part. On the night I did a couple of different explanations of some compounds I made, fake subsurface scattering and fake lighting, but I'm just going to put them compounds online somewhere, so you just download them. I don't need to explain how to make them, you can have a look at them yourselves. So this one is just about making a volume, so it's just kind of like noise within a volume. So I was looking at Houdini, and they had a nice fractal procedural noise system for cloud, so I just wanted to kind of replicate some of them things in ice. So I'll just show you some of my findings. And what's really annoying or peculiar is that this has been there since exercise version 1, I think. I remember Halfdan wrote the Worley Noise in the beta of ice, and I haven't really used it because I didn't really know what it was or how to use it properly. So hopefully some of you will get to see the Worley Noise that's been there since, I don't know, Soft Emerge version 7 or something like that. So anyway, let's get started. So I want to generate a grid. So if we let's make a grid of points. So a nice little grid. Now to speed this up, this grid is like a 3D space. I just want to do a 2D grid to start with, just to make life easier to see what's going on, because obviously a 3D grid is a lot more points to work with. Like 100 by 100 by 100 is 1,000,000 points. So just bear that in mind when you play with the Y number with this. So a grid of points. All points, nice. And we want some noise. So let's get the Worley Noise. And we need to plug the point position into this. Get point position. And so now we need to connect that to there somehow. So I mean, there's different ways of displacing, and for now just keep it simple. We're just going to affect the colour. So just going to have a nice gradient, colour gradient, and we want to affect and just set particle colour, I guess. Cool. So if we put that in there, should instantly see some Worley noise in the colour, which is great, because what we're doing is generating values from 0 to 1, and the gradient is expecting in this gradient here a value from 0 to 1, so it's all nice. So I'm going to put that down here and that there. And what I was doing in my examples is you just make that transparent. So is that that side? Oh. Put that about there and have that about there, yeah. Cool. So this in a way is almost like tweaking the gradient. You can play with that in itself to get a different effect. But let's just set this up so it works. So cellular, that one. That's the cellular Worley Noise classic that we're after. And if you look at this, if we put this up, you get smaller. It's the frequency in space, and lower this down and they get bigger. All nice and simple. Again, this is just on a nice little grid. So what we want to do, what they had in Houdini, they had something called alligator noise, which was kind of this with some turbulence mixed in. So let's make some turbulence. Yeah. Turbulize. Let's turbulize by range, because it's easier to work out. So there's two things we can do here. Let's do it the most obvious one, which is plug in the turbulize into the frequency. So we want to change the frequencies from a very low number, and to a fairly biggish one. maybe this is too low. And the size of the turbulence. So you can see now, the scale, you can see we're getting some kind of turbulence happening. In fact, let's change this gradient so we can see what's going on. If I make this colour a red colour, you can kind of see the edge a bit better there, so it's easier to see what's going on. And then just change, yeah, so that affects the, okay, that'll do for now. So, as I was saying, that's one way to affect the frequency, and what we can also do is have another one of these and just add it to the point position, which is a better effect, I think. So there's the noise again. So point position added to that, and we want to set some values up. So what we want to do is a minus note, because we want to turbulise between a range of, I don't know, say -1 to 1. I'll leave that like that for now, and then add that to that. So now what we're going to get is a turbulence on the edge, if you see. So it's added to the point position. So that's a better, yeah, that's a better way of doing it. So we can do the two. Yeah, see, so now we're getting some more interesting shapes, and it's all super fast because it's on a grid. Maybe it's not that interesting, maybe we need to change something up a bit more. You can see we're getting quite a good kind of noise there, and it moves over time as well, which is great. And the final thing is we can now put this up, so I will lower it for now because I don't want to. 6. Oh, the size, isn't it? So we put 100. So now we'll do 1,000,000. So is it? Awesome. So it's 1,000,000 noise particles, and of course it's the same thing as the first tutorial or the first demonstration, where you just put a volume material on it. So I've got volume material that actually takes the colour as the input to the density as well, and I use a fractal to take away from that. So it's going to have some red in it because I've got it's taken it from the colour. But that renders really quick, and it's a good way to get some interesting noise that you can use in the viewport and look a bit cloudy. And it's not too slow moving. You can always freeze the cloud and use it when, you know, and do some other things to shape this to make the bottom flat or displace some noises and da da da. So anyway, that was just a quick one about noise. Whoops, I forgot to show you the examples that I wanted to show you on the alligator noise. So here you see the 2D grids and the 3D grids, and this is just animated some of the turbulence values, I think, that you just saw earlier. I'll just quickly, I mean these are all on my Vimeo page anyway. I just brought all these together to show you how simple it was to apply it and different effects. So I think this was rendered with Fury because it's got shadows on it. So it's still rendered as points. All of these are little points, and the shadows were worked out by Fury. This one's a BA shader 1, and again I think I'm eating into it with a fractal. Just so you don't see the regularly spaced. I mean, you can always turbulise the points afterwards as well. You don't need to leave them in a grid. So this is a slice 3D render of. So it's a sphere rather than a grid. I'm using Kieran Maloney's SDF emits to emit a sphere, and then I kind of use Worley Noise to. In fact, let's go back a bit so you can see what's going on there a bit more. I'm using the noise to displace on this one, so First of all, I cut the noise out, and then I displace out again. You can see here that I'm displacing it out. So I'm kind of like doing that in a few passes. And you get a good level of fractal and detail, and renders pretty quick. Here I was trying to get an animated version where it's billowing. It's not quite working. I'm using like the power, which is a different way to animate stuff, as well as just animating the turbulent amount. So it's not quite there yet, and I'd left the colour in there. So here you see a better method, because of course the noise is noise. It can work. I'm displacing on a surface here rather than this is just a sphere. And again, I'm layering it, so I've got a large amount and then a more detailed amount moving at a different rate. And here's a test render of where I'm at with layering a few of these techniques up. There you go. Now it's the end.